Yo, this is me just after doing a read through the first chapter. Um, I already said that after a few chapters I would do analysis of characters so far. But honestly, the prologue immediately gave me got a lot of interesting information, a lot of dense information on Caleb or Kanan, as we know him from in the later in the actual show and show Star Wars Rebels and the book. So let's actually talk about what we learned about Caleb so far. Since we have the chapter with us as the literal information guide, we can actually point out where the interesting personality quirks appear. So let's basically first off we learned here that even though that Obi-Wan had already killed Sith at this point in the timeline, apparently the young Padawan, the younglings did not were never told about the Sith, which I guess would make sense. Or maybe if we took it to the far extreme, that no one knew about Sith. I never seen the Clone Wars TV show, so maybe someone could um, basically collaborate my thought on that. But maybe the majority of Jedi did not know about Sith. Only the major Jedi Masters did. Um, Basically, we learned that Caleb is not really the most attentive student. His thoughts wander off a bit. Um, However, he does show that he's somewhat impulsive, but he's also very he also he's also able to think outside the box. Shown by the entire conversation between Obi-Wan and him when he asks, could the message thing be used to be sent to warn everyone, all the Jedi away? Ironically enough, in this continuity, that might have given Obi-Wan the seed of the idea to warn everyone away. Caleb is shown to be very curious, very impulsive, very sometimes not very focused, but very but able to do something that most of the Jedi in that time period probably couldn't do, and that was to think outside the box, to get out of the rigid structure that most Jedi were stuck in. That was, in my opinion, the main reason why Palpatine was able to take the Jedi all out at once was because they were all like the Jedi were all like all trapped in this rigid structure. They understood the rules. They understood all the rules, laws of the Republic. They understood the situation. So once you took away the safety net of the Republic, took away all the, took basically just broke all the rules and just put the Jedi into a place of pure anarchy. They just couldn't adapt. Caleb showed that he could adapt, while the other Jedi probably got killed because they didn't have time to predict what was going on. Caleb was able to survive due to the fact that he could think outside the box, unlike other Jedi. And most importantly, this part of Caleb is also, I think, was probably going to foreshadow the major elements in the book. I've read the book once, but I never really focused on the plot elements. But this entire concept here, Caleb is asking, what if we were told to run away? And that's the entire concept of Caleb's character arc and Kanan's character arc in the book, is that he's constantly running away from his past, the Force, anything that's close to awakening the Force in him. He's just running away like hell. It takes the death of a friend he has to basically make him stop running. But the idea is all about. But basically, this chapter really gives a great basic foundation for Caleb slash Kanan's character, and it also gave a tiny bit of information on this continuity's version of Master Balaba. I never read the old continuity, so I don't know Master Balaba, Depi Balaba's personality there, but it's specified that Depi Balaba in this thing that it was Master Balaba's way to speak in riddles, so she was a cryptic type. She Master Balaba also didn't want. Also is would also be, was willing to stop an arc moment between Obi-Wan and Caleb. And basically she understood the I guess you could say the current hierarchy at that point, because from my gather, Master Balaba is not at the same level Kenobi for some reason, because the way it's presented in the story in the prologue, it's presented as Master Balaba being somewhat more subordinate to Obi-Wan. It's hard to tell how it works in the situation, because I don't really know we really don't know what Balaba's position is in the new continuity. But Also, we actually get interesting interaction with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan. I didn't really like Obi-Wan. Well, I liked Obi-Wan most of all, mostly, but I never really found him interesting. This new continuity may change my opinion on it because the way Obi-Wan's written here is that he's calm, he's wise, but he's also willing to listen to listen to other person's opinions on things, which was not how he's presented in the prequels. Obi-Wan was totally rigid, structured Jedi in the prequels. In this scene, in this prologue scene, however, he seems to be calm, wise, authoritative, but he's willing to listen to other people's thoughts and opinions, and is actually willing to admit things, admit that he may admit that might be merit in Kyo's reasoning. And yeah, honestly, John Jackson Miller, the guy who wrote this thing, I gotta give you credit where credit is due. I mean, um, about this book, John Jackson Miller, gotta give you credit where credit is due. This prologue is incredibly dense with a lot of interesting character stuff for like multiple characters, and it gives a real great sense of where that the story is going to be very character driven. And then that final line at the end of prologue, just showing the drastic change in the situation, like that giving the using the literal message that Obi-Wan makes and using it in ways to show a drastic change in tone. Yeah, that is a really great way to write a prologue. It's dense, it's well written, it has great character moments. It has great it shows a great tone and change in tone. And the writing is just really good. It's right. There's not a lot of repetition. It's just really good writing. So yeah, I was actually surprised. Now that I read this chapter fully in depth, I mean, this prologue is like really dense. So yeah, that's my analysis of the prologue. See you in the next chapter. I'll probably do the next chapter later because if the prologue is this dense, then I can't wait. The chapters are going to be like massive with analysis.